Vladimir Guerrero Jr. won the home run derby the other night, and he got stronger with each round. He kept hitting more and more home runs, and his swing looked better and better throughout those pitches. So we're going to break down what this could mean for his confidence going forward, and hopefully a monster second half for Vladdy. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. caused quite a bit of excitement with his home run derby performance the other day. We all thought that he had no chance after that 41 home run first round by Julio Rodriguez, but he ended up pulling it out. And his swing started to get better as the competition progressed. And usually you see the opposite. You see fatigue start to kick in. So I was very impressed with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s performance.
Yeah, it's been a fun couple days if you've been a Blue Jays fan. The home run derby, some other news that came out that we spoke on. But make sure to hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you're all enjoying the All-Star weekend. And like you said, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he did win it. Did I expect him to win it? No, Peter, I don't know if you did. But he ultimately did it. And this is something that he needs to use, going forward. Because we'll discuss today, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has not had a great season to start. However, he has also been getting unlucky as well. So hopefully he can use this going forward. But what a performance by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. today, winning the home run derby. And he didn't hit as many as he did in 2019 when he lost to Pete Alonso in one of the most infamous home run derbies in a while. But his 25 home runs in the final round, like you alluded to, he got stronger and stronger, was the highest total in the history. And him and Vladdy Sr. are the first father-son combo to ever win the derby. And again, this is not as much focusing on the home run derby and him winning it itself. It's more about how he can use this as maybe a stepping stone to bounce back in the second half of the season and hopefully snap out of some of that bad luck.
Right. Now, we usually hear the home run derby is something that could kill your swing or kill your mojo going into the second half. But I think the opposite could be true for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think I equate it to basketball when you're struggling with your shot and you just need a layup to get going, and then the floodgates start to open. The basket seems a little bit wider than it did before when you were missing all those shots. So I think the same could be true for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He needs to see some of those balls creep over the wall, and it's different doing it in batting practice as opposed to the home run derby. You got 40 something thousand people watching, you got a lot of people on TV watching, and there's a lot of pressure in the event as well. And you could see that he altered a bit of his launch angle throughout the event. He wasn't hitting moonshots by any stretch, but he started hitting the ball harder and harder and harder, and fatigue was not an issue at all for him. So hopefully he can take some of that mojo that he got in that home run derby and apply it to those in-game situations. I do expect a monster second half from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and the Blue Jays need it.
Yeah, and some of the announcers were kind of alluding to him being tired, and it was kind of the opposite of what was happening. He was getting stronger and stronger. He ultimately got 25 in the last round to seal the deal there. And touching on Vladdy's season so far, and you can look at his whole, his career stats, which have been kind of filled with, ups and downs to a degree. Obviously, 2021 was his MVP season, but this year, he only has 13 home runs, and Peter, we've spoke about this a lot. His OPS is not where it needs to be. His OPS plus is not where it needs to be. But when you look at his advanced metrics, and again, advanced metrics aren't everything. The eye test is a lot of it. He hits a lot of ground balls, but he has some of the best advanced metrics of any hitter in baseball. And do you think it's more so him getting unlucky or him needing to adjust some of his bat path? I think it's a mix of both. And I also think that one good thing that Vladdy has is that I think he still has the confidence no matter, whether he's hitting 200 or if he's having an MVP season like 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. When he's hitting the ball in the air, Nick, I mean, he's a top five hitter in the game. It's just he's not able to do that with enough frequency for us to coin him in those top five hitters. But that 2021 season, is it an outlier? I'm not exactly sure because he's still only 24 years of age. You've seen Juan Soto have down years. You've seen other guys have down seasons, and then they start to figure things out. Maybe the league figured out Vladdy's weaknesses at the plate, and that could be very true as well. So maybe he's just got to make the adjustment back. I still think he's got that 40 home run power in his bat. I don't think he'll finish with 40 this year. It's almost mathematically impossible unless he goes on a Shohei or Aaron Judge type of run. But he just needs to start hitting the ball in the air a little bit more and just keep hitting those line drives. He hits the ball as hard as anyone, so his advanced metrics are always going to look good no matter what his average is or no matter what his home run numbers are. But he is getting better. He got stronger going into the break, and the home run power, it's only a matter of time before it comes. He is one of the elite hitters in the game, and when he's right, the whole Blue Jays offense just turns a corner.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like you said, he got hot towards the end of the All-Star break, and well-deserved break for everyone. And like you said, he absolutely crushes the ball. So his approach, it's not as good as it was in 2021, especially for his chase right there. That is a big thing that he needs to work on, is not reaching for those outside and inside pitches that aren't balls. But when he hits the ball, he hits it very hard. And even if he's not going to hit, like you said, 40 home runs this year, I think the scale will tip a bit in the second half of the season. A few of those line drives will drop for hits. Maybe he gets the ball in the air a bit more because he definitely needs to. And if he figures that out, because we had the same, obviously we weren't talking about it then, but back in 2020, everyone had the same conversation about if he got the ball up, he'd have a monster year. And then he went out and did it in 2021 and hit 48 home runs. And whether the pitchers adjusted to him, I'm sure they did. But Vladdy can adjust right back, and his process is good to a degree. And if he can just find a way to get the ball in the air and find some luck, then he's built for being one of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. And his fly ball numbers are actually not that far off from his
Yes,
2021
exactly.
season, which is something that I found very interesting. It's more so just him pulling the ball. I think he's got more of an opposite field approach, like a lot of the Blue Jays hitters do right now. And I think that's a story for another day that
Yeah.
we'll touch on, Nick. But he's getting there. And I think the difference between 2021 and 2023 Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is really waiting for your pitch. He
Yep.
was waiting for his pitch that entire season. And if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani being the greatest player to ever walk the face of the earth, then he would have won the MVP. And who knows, that might have sparked something else for Vladdy. But it's really just waiting for his pitch. His chase rate was much lower in 2021. He was taking the walks when they gave it to him. His on base percentage was over 400 in that 2021 season, as you see over there, and it's nowhere near that mark this year. It's still pretty good. It's very respectable, but when he's elite, he's taking those walks and he's waiting for that one specific pitch to crush, and he doesn't miss it when it comes.
Yeah, and I think he's pressing a little bit now, like you kind of see Matt Chapman do as well. Alejandro Kirk, everyone is doing in their struggles are starting to
But you
press
can't you can't compare those guys. Vladdy is in
different
a
level.
different tier than those two guys.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Vladdy, well, I guess fortunately, if he can find a way to just let the pitches come to him like he did in 2020 and spit on the pitches, you see him when he's feeling it, he'll really like shake his head when he takes a ball and really be locked in, but otherwise he'll be pushing. But yeah, any other thoughts on Vladdy before we move on to a quick injury update for Jordan Romano, who unfortunately got injured during the All-Star game?
Yeah, let's hope everything's all right. Doesn't seem to be too serious for Romano, but when Vladdy is on fire and when he's swinging a hot bat, there's no one more fun in baseball to watch. Maybe a couple of guys that I could rattle off, but he is truly a special talent up there in the box, and I do expect a monster second half from him, and similar to what he did in 21. I'm calling it, man. I'm expecting a dominant second half, and you won't be able to pitch to this guy.
Yeah, let us know what your predictions are for his end of season stats. And before we do wrap up, just a quick update on Jordan Romano, who left the All-Star game with left lower back tightness. He basically went out and said that he felt something in his bullpen, but wanted to once in a lifetime experience for him to be in the All-Star game. Maybe not his first time ever, because he might go in the future, but he should be okay. There's nothing, any more serious than that, and hopefully he'll be good for when the Jays return to play Arizona shortly. But that'll wrap up the video. Hopefully Vladimir Guerrero Jr. can use some of this momentum, and hopefully the Jays can stay hot against some familiar players on the Arizona Diamondbacks. But that'll wrap up the video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.